Hey y'all, it's Alec with Sharing the Journey. I don't know about y'all, but I am excited to put 2024 in the rearview mirror and look forward to the new possibilities that 2025 have to share. Now, with that being said, I started thinking last night, what are some of the issues that are going to be relatable to people who are in a similar situation as Cindy and I are in as we live and try to navigate what is ahead for us in 2025. So I put together a list of the 5 biggest problems that I think we are going to have to face as full-time RVers in 2025. Not only as individuals, but families. So here's the 5 most significant issues that I feel will affect us in 2025. I think the biggest thing that we as full-time RVers are always concerned about is the rising cost of RV living. Now, 3 areas in particular that really hit home to me are fuel prices as number 1. Traveling, moving from place to place in our home is going to become more expensive in 2025. I know just over this month of December, we've seen fuel cost in the area of South Carolina that we're in right now have gone up 15 cents per gallon. Now, when you're stationary, driving your towed, that's not a huge deal, but when you're driving your RV or pulling your RV, then it is a big deal. I get 6.4 miles to the gallon in my motorhome. For every 6.5 miles roughly, our gas price is 15 cents more. And it just continues to build as you add the miles on. Now, there are several things we're going to do when we hit the road again that will help us save some money. The main thing is to examine the fuel apps that we use on our smartphones. I use 4 different ones. I use the Love's travel app through the Love's gas stations, and they save me 10 cents a gallon. There's no membership to be involved in. All you have to do is download the app. It'll tell you where the next Love's is. So that's our number 1. Our number 2 is Pilot app, which is good at Pilot and Flying J. And depending on how much fuel you have registered or bought during the I think it's every month, you will save anywhere from 5 to 10 cents a gallon. I know I went and filled up the Jeep last night. There's a Pilot station 3 miles from the campground we're camped in right now, and I saved 5 cents a gallon last night. The other thing I use is Gas Buddy, and I find that more helpful when I'm in an unknown town and I don't know the different gas stations. But Gas Buddy will help you determine where the cheapest gas is in your area. And then the last pick, which a lot of people use this one more, is Upside. On Upside, they partner with different gas stations, and then you get cash back in the forms of an Amazon gift card or some other gift card that you choose. And it's anywhere from a penny to I've saved as much as 20 cents. So I check all those apps to see what's going on. Now, the next rising cost is campground fees. Campground and RV parks are experiencing a rise in demand because more and more people have chosen to live on the road. I know right now we're managing this RV park in Sellers, South Carolina. And we have right now 32 long-term guests. A portion of those have had to move into RVs because with today's inflation, they can no longer afford to live in a sticks and bricks or pay the outstanding fees that they have in renting. So they have chosen the RV lifestyle, and a lot of them, like at our park, $650 a month plus utilities. A lot of them already own a little bit older camper or have a camper that they're paying $200 or $300 a month for, so they can live in a campground with all the amenities for less than $1,000 a month, and you can't touch an apartment for that. Now, talking about that is the rising maintenance cost of keeping an RV up. Our RV is headed towards 6 years old, and I'm noticing that there's more and more maintenance to do as it gets older. We've been living in her full time since May 10th, 2019, and it gets more expensive. Parts are more expensive. Paying somebody to come fix something that you don't have the knowledge to fix is more expensive. So you need to really learn how to maintain the basics on your RV to keep those costs down. Number 2 in this list of 5 things is overcrowding at campgrounds. The popularity of RV living has grown significantly, both out of just being a popular way to live and out of necessity. But this is leading to a limited availability of desirable RV parks, especially during peak seasons. I know that when we worked last summer up in Yellowstone, some of the parks up there, if you didn't make a reservation 6 months in advance, you weren't getting anything. So we're going to have to probably stay in places that are not as touristy, popular, and learn to find stuff in those communities that will enhance our lives. Like, we like to go to small local winery tours and that sort of stuff, and I've found that there's more and more of that popping up across the country. So we are happy staying in off the beaten path places instead of all the mainstream places. Other area that is causing problems in this is public lands and free camping spots are becoming overrun. Like, there's no way you can get me to go to Quartzsite. When we first started doing this 6 years ago, I was looking forward to BML land and Quartzsite. I know that when we went up to Zion, we were going to stay in some BML land. It was so overpacked with people, and the roads were in such disrepair that we just found a small local campground that was a little bit further away from Zion, and we had a really good time. So those are 2 things you can do to overcome the overcrowding of campgrounds. The next area is infrastructure challenges. Now, I broke that down into 3 parts: connectivity, road conditions, and access to dump stations. So finding reliable internet, because a lot of us work remotely, work on the road, we're not independently wealthy and can't just live off our savings or trust funds. So the main 2 ways that I know people are finding reliable internet on the road is Starlink is probably by far the most popular. Now, we have an older Verizon plan. We have only had connectivity problems with Verizon one time, and I bought a MoFi off of Amazon, and I took the SD card out of my tablet, stuck it in the MoFi, and we have unlimited internet, and we have only, like I said, had an issue at one place. Road conditions. We are finding that the roads are becoming worse and worse. The states and the federal government I don't know what they're spending all our road tax money on, but they are not maintaining the roads. When we were coming from Texas up to Montana, the roads were so bad, it completely knocked our door track off the ceiling and broke our door going into our bedroom. I've yet been able to find someone to fix that. And so we've been riding around like that for a year. And hopefully we'll make it back to Red Bay, Alabama, where we can get that fixed soon. And then the last issue is when we travel, we do a lot of boondocking and staying in parking lots between places. We can do that for a week. If we can do that for a week, a month, I'm sorry, the wind is so bad. Let me get back in the woods. If we can do that a week, a month, then we can save $200 to $300 on our housing every month. But you've got to find a place to dump your tanks. And so we have found that if you go to, Lord help me when I say this, Camping World, they usually have dumps there. Some are free, some are up to $10. A lot of Loves, Pilots, Flying J's, TAs, and other big national branded truck stops will have RV dumps. And again, $5 to $10. They're free dumps at a lot of rest areas. We were in Mississippi. I couldn't believe the number of dump stations we found at rest areas in Mississippi. So you just need to make sure that you use a good source like Allstays or Campendium or something like that that will help you find a place to dump. There are a lot of resources available on the internet and your smartphone that will help you locate those type of places and needs. The next problematic area I foresee in 2025 is changing regulations. Cities and towns are implementing stricter rules on where RVs can park, limiting our boondocking or free camping. I know that when we were coming down from Montana to South Carolina, we were going through Arizona, and we were having such a hard time to find a place at boondock. Our regular areas like Bass Pro Shop, Walmart, and Cracker Barrel would not let us stay overnight because the cities in that particular portion of the state had outlawed overnight RV parking for campers and travelers, even car camping. Other thing we found that a lot of states have changed their laws when it comes to dealing with rest areas. Whew, almost fell. A lot of the rest areas have now put up signs that trucks or RVs, you can't stay parked there but for 8 hours and you have to move on. Some states have even hired attendants to work the rest areas to keep track of that. They say it's because there's more and more people on the road that need to rest, so they move everybody on. But I know I like to be off the road by 4, and I don't like to get on the road until 9 a.m. That way we miss all the commuting traffic. We miss everybody coming home from work and everybody going to work. And for us, that's what works for us. And then there's environmental regulations that we've come into that affect the use of our generator. We've been in some towns that it's against the law to run your generator like after 10 o'clock at night. So if we're at a Walmart or somewhere and our batteries get low or it gets very hot, and I believe we were in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and we were told that we had to turn our generator off because of environmental regulations. So that's another area that I think is going to get worse in 2025. Now, the last area that I think we are going to see a bigger increase, and it's not just in the RV community, it seems to be nationwide, is loneliness and mental health. And I've talked to people who expressed to me that them being away for an extended time from their traditional communities, their friends, their family, can lead to isolation and loneliness. Now, I know that when we first hit the road, one of my first things that I noticed is I missed a sense of community. You know, we used to have this place in our little town of Eastover called Bunky's. It's still there. I'm just not there. There was a group of men that would get together every morning, like at 6 o'clock in the morning, from the community and sit and talk and just have a good time. And they would discuss what's going on in the town, what's going on in the nation, that sort of stuff. And it was just kind of, we'd sit up there, have a cup of coffee, a bowl of grits, and just enjoy each other's company. I had a sense of community. Now that we're work camping in the campgrounds, we realized how small the full-time RV life community is, and that we get that sense of community through work camping. Adjusting to living in small spaces and constantly moving can be mentally taxing, especially for families or couples. You know, we live in 320 square feet when we're open, and we're together now 24 hours a day. When we were living in sticks and bricks and had traditional jobs, you know, I'd leave at 5:30 in the morning and not get home till 6 o'clock at night. And so we'd spend 2 or 3 hours together, then it's off to bed. Now you're with that person all the time, and the anxiety levels really do pick up. And you just need to make sure that you're with a loving partner before you hit the road. And I think you can work through that. So this is my list of what I think are going to be the biggest challenges of 2025 if you live full-time in an RV. I ask that you comment and tell me what you think. Add what you think challenges will be, or if you disagree with the challenges that I've listed. Until next time, safe travels, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.